Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So, today, I think it is time to tackle the crown. Where'd my cursor go? There it is. Okay. But yes, I gotta tackle the crown. That's gonna be most of what I do today, I think. Just because I think it's gonna be a bit of a thing. But, before I go into that, there are a couple of small corrections I want to make. I feel like her eyes are not quite in the right spot. Like, I feel like the eye sockets are fine and stuff. This one might be a little bit low over there, but that's, that should all be fine. Since it's all gonna kind of fade to nothing anyway. I might end up putting little lines around there like I did here. I haven't decided yet, but I think I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Or maybe I shouldn't. You know, it is the face. Let me see. How do I feel about things? I'm gonna... Yeah, it's definitely a little bit low. Okay, I guess I should probably do something about that. So I'm gonna hide a bunch of layers. I talked myself out of it. Let's not be lazy on the face. That's always a terrible idea. So I'll just lift it up a little. It's easy enough to do anyway. Okay, there we go. Look, sometimes I do have to talk myself out of being lazy. I think it's a universal truth of humanity. Anyway, but back to what I was actually concerned about, in that I felt like this eye may not be placed right, but you know, now that I look at it, I literally think it was just that her eye was too low. And I had the rest, I had the iris there placed fine. Okay. Well, I'm glad I fixed my problem. Anyway, the next problem I want to touch. I don't like the angle that her teeth are going at. There's something a little bit off about them, so I'm gonna rotate it just a little. I'm gonna have to fill in some things again, but, you know, it's fine. It's always fine. This would have been the upside of keeping them on the pointy teeth on a separate layer. Like I had initially when I was trying to figure it out, but... It's okay. This is a little bit less scrolling. And I don't think it has to move that much. Yeah, that's much better. And then I might make it just a little bit thicker on this side. Just a little. Oh, no, wrong brush. Okay. Yes. Definitely do not want any opacity shenanigans with this one. This one is all about being nice and smooth. I just kind of want to make sure I have everything painted in properly over here. Well, I kind of thicken this tooth out just a little bit. You know, not a lot, but just a little. Just a tiny, tiny little bit. And then I'll just fill in everything else. Like, a lot of that is going to be lost. But just in case I decide to add any lines to separate the mouth from things. I haven't decided if I'm going to yet or not. That's going to be a place for a little bit more science. But just in case that I do, I want to be ready. Gotta be ready for these things. I like the smile, though. I think it came out really well. It makes me happy. It just such a happy face. I mean, look how wide that smile is. Oh, alright. And see, it's not taking me that long to fill all this in, so all is well. Okay. Now I can turn my layers back on, and yeah, I think it's about time to get into the crown. That's right. No, there was one more thing. In that, I wanted the hair here to stick out just a little. You know, kind of like this. I thought that the flat shadow there was just a little bit too flat, and it looked a little weird. So I figured I should do something about that. And then we have this blurry spot right there, but that's something else entirely, so I guess it's fine. I'll deal with it later. Okay, and let's see. Do I want just like a little hint of something here? I think so. I think I do. There we go. So yeah, now it looks a little bit more like the braid is continuing underneath the hair there, and I'll let her have her face. Let's see, it looks like I have some kind of excess head over there, so let's get rid of all of that. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's fine. Okay. But yeah, that's about all I really wanted to touch up. Everything else I think looks okay. One thing that I do know, once it comes time to do some more experiments, is that I want to put some highlights on her hair, and those are all just going to be like solid white. So it's going to be something like, you know, I put highlight across here and like here and stuff. But I think I'm going to save that for after I have all of her hair, sans the hair just all the way in the back here, totally done. And probably the rest of her face, too. That's just what I want to get into, just really putting the final details on the face. I just want to have everything ready for me. What's going on right there? What is going on right there? Because, yeah, that looks like part of the hair. Okay, it might be part of the head outline. It is. Okay, cool. I'm not going to worry about it then. Okay, well, enough stalling. Let's get to that crown. I actually think it looks pretty good. I think I got the perspective on it, like, probably a good 90% correct. There's just a couple of spots I want to liquefy a bit, so one of them is right here. I just felt like the top of it was a little bit... is flat the right word? It just didn't feel like it was pointing in the right direction. So I'm going to adjust that slightly, make sure that this top part is pointing as it should. And then I'm still not quite satisfied with how this band is sitting on her head. So I kind of wanted to go in and just kind of push this in just a little. Give that little gem a nice, a little bit of a nicer angle. See how I'm kind of flattening it on her head just a little bit by doing this? Just kind of rolling everything back and forth a little. So that's what I felt was a little bit off there. So I'm just gonna push it around until I am happy. Until I feel like it is sitting on her head just a little bit better. And then once I'm happy with that, I can just, you know, go in and actually put in all my shadows and stuff. I'll probably actually do that before I fully smooth things out, because I think that'll be a good way to make sure that everything is looking how I want. This side I thought was mostly fine. I just want this guy pointing upward a little bit more, and there. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And then there was this thing right here. I remember having a little bit of trouble getting that to the right spot last time too, and I'm still not quite happy. I don't think it's quite there. Not quite. And I think part of it is just, I think part of it is that I have the little bit of that hole showing, so I think I'm gonna fill it in and just make it look like that little curly part is behind the rest of this. And we're just seeing a tiny little sliver of it. I think I talked about doing that at first, and then I decided it was wrong, and now I'm deciding that that's right again. Such is the way of art. Okay, and I still feel like it's a little high. So I'm gonna kind of plop in this line where I feel like it should be, and then I'm going to erase through here accordingly. I think that's accurate. It looks a little better to me. Let me flip the canvas here. No, it still feels like it's not quite in the right spot. It still feels a little bit wrong. Okay, but that feels a little better. Let's see. It still feels high. Yeah, I think what's throwing me off is that because we're seeing such just a small piece of it, basically, that we're not seeing where it connects here, and we're not seeing where it ends here. We're just seeing, like, this little spot that's sticking out of the black on this side, the equivalent of that. So it's more like it should be shorter. It should be shorter and thin. Okay, that seems alright, actually. We'll see how I feel about it in a few minutes. I won't start with that spot. And I want to put in some shadows anyway. I'm going to merge them, so I'm not going to bother naming this layer. I'm just going to let myself be a little bit lazy there. And I'll go ahead and start adding my shadows and whatnot. Kind of show where the thickness of the crown is and all that, and any like little pieces of decoration and that kind of thing. So there should be like a ridge here. Should be on the other side as well, although I think it'll be like partially covered by things. I'm gonna plop a line there and through here, and then this little ridge I think is gonna kind of fade into the shape of the diamond there. And then from there, there's a little line on this. So it goes kind of like this, I think. It's not quite like that, but let's see. Let's see. This is why I wanted to do it on another layer. So that this way I could try things and just do all kinds of experiments and figure out how I actually want this all to go. And then I can merge all the layers together when the time comes. And I already can tell I have some of this in the wrong place. That's fine. I'll fix it when it comes time to render it. So let me just kind of adjust it a little. And just kind of go back and forth between this gold and the black until I am happy. Gonna put a nice thick shadow line right there. This one will be thinner. Okay. And I can just, you know, plop in further shadows and whatnot as I see fit, and all that good stuff. Should be able to get something pretty cool out of this, I think. Okay, all that seems okay. So I got the big side part there. Got the little ridge around the gem. I'll color the gem later. I'll give it its own layer, I think. No, maybe I'll do it in the same one. Who knows? It's pretty easy since it's just solid color there and I'm less scared. But we'll see what I want to do. It always kind of just depends on my mood. Some days I'm more scared than others. So I think this is like this. Okay. So I think that's basically it for this piece. So now I gotta get into this weird metal net thing. Kinda get all my thickness lines there. And see, this is why I want to merge the layers together eventually, because I think some of these lines might need to be a little thicker than they currently are. And that'll be hard to do without just merging the layers together and adjusting them at the same time. I don't really like bouncing back between layers, which is why you'll notice that I don't use a lot of like separate layers with separate blend modes. I know a lot of people do that for shading, where they just, you know, like plop a multiply layer on top of things and shade that way. Whereas I tend to just shade things and then do that to add a little bit of like dramatic lighting and atmospheric effects at the end. I find it a little easier. I just don't like having to go to 7 different layers in order to do anything, I guess is a good way to put it. It is taste. It actually took me a pretty long time to convince myself to even start using layers. I found it so much easier to paint on one layer for a very, very long time. But no, I eventually came to appreciate the allure of being able to try things and change things a little bit more easily. So I came to appreciate layers just a little bit more. Just a little. I still kind of hate scrolling through them. You wouldn't know with as many as I always seem to use, but... Okay, I'm gonna hide her back hair here. Might even need to hide the front hair. Okay. Whatever property I changed, please don't. Okay. And the head, I guess. We'll just hide, like, everything and keep everything nice and out of the way so I can see fine. I guess we're keeping her face, so she'll have a little bit of a floating face for a bit. That's fine. Floating faces are funny. Okay, so I know that there's a ridge here. But now I feel like I can see again, and I can kind of trust what I'm doing. I just like to do things that way, because if I can't trust what I'm doing, I get nervous, you know? And I'm just like, oh man, if I draw something underneath here, is everything going to be okay? The answer is always yes, but it's nice to be able to just go in and draw without being nervous, so... Yeah, some of this is definitely going to have to be a little thicker. That's fine. And I'm definitely going to have to straighten some of this out. I guess I can do a little bit of that now. It got a little bit warped from the liquefy, but the liquefy simplified my life quite a bit, so I still consider it worth it. And everything is still a little bit sketchy here, so... I can still go back over it as I please. Make it nice and smooth. Just a little bit later after I kind of get these basic things on there. And I know what I'm doing. Let's see. I'm just trying to figure out how the rest of this headband is structured, but I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, so I just do this. And if we see this part of it, so we'll see the side here. So that will have a thicker line. Like that. And then back here, we'll just have a little thin separating line. I say as I kind of accidentally make that one thick, but it's fine. I'll fix it when it comes time to smooth things out. Still being pretty messy, so it's all good. I just want to make sure it looks good before I smooth it out. And that I also don't want to, like, move anything else. I just don't want to move anything else. Okay, and I mean, this is chaos, but I understand it. I actually do think that it'll look pretty good. So, I think I'm probably about good to go here. I'm gonna try some shadows on the gems as well. I have a vision here. So, let's see, what kind of gems are they? They're not like... cut. Like the ones on the top of the crown are, but the ones kind of inset here, they're not, you know, like this kind of gem where I would shade in like this and then put a highlight over here or something. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be that kind to me. So first off, they're inset, not outset. So I want to have a pretty thick shadow going all the way around. Let me think. How does that work? The shadow should be thicker on this side if it's inset. So So it's going inside the crown, not outside. Yeah, there we go. That now looks like it's inside of it. And then I just kind of thicken up things here. And I have to remind myself, no curves allowed. I've got a lot of curves here. This is bad. But I think I can fix it. And then I can plop in a little white highlight, like, I don't know, something like this. I'll smooth it all out a little bit later, and I think that's closer to the kind of gem that this is. If I had another color, I don't really want to use one. I'd do something like this. But I don't think that it would look good if I made this side just totally dark. I guess I'll try it, but yeah, I don't think it really looks good. It looks much better like this. So I just have to kind of care about how they're sitting inside here. And it is indeed inside. So here, it'd be dark here. And then we'd get the little highlight here. And I'll turn all the layers back on just to check this one more time. Okay, and then all of these gems are cut. So I'll go ahead and kind of finish off what I'm doing with these guys here first. And then I'll worry about the other ones. Yeah, no, just one thing at a time. Let's see, what would make this one look inset? What side do we see? Just this one, I think. No, I think I had that backwards, actually. I think we see this one. Yes, okay. Alright. So now these ones are, you know, more what you'd think of as gems and whatnot. So I kind of want to get something like this going. With a little hint of this color right through there. So I think that's how I'm going to handle these. They'll all have this kind of pattern. Just put a little bit of pink back in there, and then white up here. And I'll just keep doing that until they're all shaded. Oh yeah, and this one is inset, so he needs an extra shadow here. There we go. And I actually think that I have this not quite right. Let me pull this side down a little bit more. There we go. There we go. So I do consider this basically part of the face. It's right up near her face, so I do want to make sure that it looks, you know, absolutely fantastic, as always. So I'll be giving it lots of care and attention. Once it comes time to smooth it out. It's not time to smooth it out just yet, so I'm still being a little messy. Oh yeah, and I missed a spot in the crown here. I did not outline you guys. How dare I? Yeah, I gotta get all this ready. I gotta. I guess it's fine since I'd be merging down the layer at some point anyway, but regardless, this will make it easier to tell if I am succeeding in what I'm trying to do once I zoom out. I could actually tell just by looking at this right now that this is still a little crooked. So I actually kind of want to go in and fix it just right now. So I guess I'll give this guy a little bit of attention. I think he needs it. Seems a little bit lonely. Just kind of straighten it out a bit. Yeah, still a little off. I think I need to give it a little bit more liquefy treatment here. This side should be a little higher. This side should be a little lower. And I'll need to really see if it's correct by turning her face back on. Very important to have a face when you are trying to check to see if something is sitting on the face properly. It's rather hard to do that when you don't have a face. So here I'm kind of switching the sides a little bit. Do I want to do that actually? No, I don't think so. I was thinking about have the light source a little bit more central, but I think I want it to be a little bit more above her. So I'm gonna have the sides facing above be the ones lit here. It's okay. It's good to think about those things very directly. There. So that should be the basics. So if I turn my layers back on, at least her head layers. I don't really care about the body right now. It should look like it's sitting on her head quite nicely. I still don't quite know about you, little guy. You still seem a little confused. I guess I should make sure I'm moving the shadows with it. Okay, and I think this should be a little bit further that way. So I will liquefy the little spots around there too. And how is that? Still not quite satisfied with how this one is sitting. Let's see. Let's see. What is making me not quite happy with you? I think I know what it is. Just gotta kind of move some of the points where it's connecting a little down here. It's okay. It's important to work all this out before I start rendering things, because, I mean, just imagine if I didn't notice until I was all done, and then I'd be sad. That looks about right to me. Okay, so I think I can be happy with this. I'm gonna go ahead and merge this down now, the shadow layer, and I'm gonna hide all the layers again, and I'm just gonna get this, you know, nice and buttery smooth. And I will not allow anything to interfere with that. So, here we go. Here we go. I'm a little nervous, but I think it'll be okay. I just always find things like this kind of difficult to draw. I think I mentioned in the past that I avoided anything like that, and I tried to go with things that could be a little bit more loose. Like, you know, clouds. Clouds, you can do pretty much whatever you want and have them look like clouds. But I tried to do stuff like that, so that this way it would be easier to draw. What can I say? I want people to draw me too. And I wanted to make it as easy as possible. Okay. Hello there, Blood Bullet. Unfortunately, your messages are still not showing up in the chat. I wish I knew why it was doing that. No, unfortunately. You know, I've got one more place I can check for that. You know, give me just a moment here. Let me see. Oh. Let me see if I can do something about that. Okay, it's being weird. Anyway, I'll have to look into that. I think it's YouTube too, but I figured I'd also check, you know, the Stream Elements chatbot and make sure that's not like holding your messages for review. I don't think it is because they still show up on screen, so... But I don't know. I figured it was worth looking. I'll check it after everything. I don't know why YouTube hates you. I think YouTube hates all of us, so, you know, maybe you're not actually alone. Okay. So let's see. That I don't think is entirely correct. So you know what? I should start with right here because, yeah, like I said, I don't think right here is entirely correct. Like, I think I got everything going fairly okay. But I want to get it real good. And I already have, like, the gems cut out properly, so I can afford to render the gold part underneath them first. And I'll straighten that out a little and kind of get rid of some of the excess things here. I think there should be a little space between these elements here. So I'm gonna try to get that. Try to capture that feeling. And I actually do think that the line through here should get pretty thin as it continues through. And let me see. Let me see. I'm just trying to understand what I'm looking at here. I just want to make sure that I know what I'm doing. At least as much as possible. And then I kind of wanted a little tiny light spot here. Where I can make it clear that there's like an extra... Like, there's like a ridge here. And I want to get that shaped, like, perfectly, because I think it's important. There we go. Oh, that's good. Okay. Most excellent. So now I have a little bit of separation between this black part and this black part. And that should make things look pretty nice. I think that the structure of this will be very easy to understand once I kind of finish smoothing it out. You know, I think I said I wasn't going to do this part first, but here I am. I don't know how these things happen, but it's okay. Oh yeah, and then after this I need to get that little cross hair pin in her hair. And I gotta do that before I go and finish off her head, I think. I guess I don't have to. I can do it whatever order I want, but I just kind of want to finish everything up here on the top of her head. But if I'm being honest, I think this crown is going to be like the hardest part in the entire picture. So I'm gonna be happy once I have it done. I will. That'll be like the biggest hurdle down. And it always feels good once you get past the hardest part. And I guess right now I gotta be careful because I don't actually have the layer locked, and I don't think I should just yet. Lots of little blurry things going on, and lots of little things I gotta fix here. Like, I still think a bunch of that... I don't know, I call it the net because it just looks like a net to me. A net of random lines. I still don't think I have all that correct. There we go. Oh, that looks nice. I think I can be happy with that. Just trying to get this line to be the right thickness. I want to have an idea of, like, this little ridge right here kind of sticking out of the metal. So it's like sitting on top of everything. So I want to make sure that there's a bit of thickness in that line. So it looks like we're kind of seeing the side of it. This is what lets you sell your illusions when you draw things. Artists are truly the ultimate illusionists. They just kind of sit there and they can make you convinced that this 2D object on the screen here is actually three-dimensional. It's pretty neat. That even if it's all fake, they can kind of convince you that it's real. I gotta admit, as a power set, I do enjoy writing illusionists. I think they're fun. I do. I think that there's just something to having fun with trickery that is just so enjoyable. Alright. Now I guess I can start cleaning up these little ridges here. And just bring this up into there and get this all shaped correctly. I'm definitely gotta take my time here because, ooh, I find things like this very, very hard to draw. I still have lots of trouble with it. But it's alright. I can do it. I just gotta really pay attention. Pay attention to every little thing and give myself every little advantage that I can. I'm not quite satisfied with how this line is turning, so I'm gonna put a little more... Wait. I just put a bunch of curls in there, didn't I? Well, shoot. Keeps happening. No, I definitely want there to be more straights here. This is not an area that I want to be curvy. Even though it's technically curvy on the actual design, there are very few places that I want to actually draw with curves in this. The eyes are one of them. The eyes got to have curves. I thought they would look weird as squares. But this is not one of them. This is one where I do have to work out every curve and turn it into a straight. I forgot again! Okay, I didn't get that far, so I can fix it. I can fix it. All right, here we go. Make this part straight. Go just across here. Oh, yeah. And frankly, it looks so much cooler when I'm consistent with what I'm actually trying to do here. So, there we go. I think it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, a lot of the parts that I did draw were quite straight, like this. It's just kind of up through here where I start putting the curves back in. I swear, if I could just stop doing that and remember to do straights right away, I'd save myself so much time. But I mean, old habits die hard, and I am not used to making everything straight. I'm used to having many a cute little curl. I'll have to think about what I want to do for the next one, because the next one, I could see straights being good, or I could see a cute little curl being good. So we'll see how I decide to do the next one I plan to do. But I do plan to do all of Saga. And then we'll see what I want to do from there. Okay. So I think that's good. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna straighten out over here before I move on, just because that is quite a curve and I need it to be straight. I think I'll let this part be angled like this. There's like a little bit of curve energy to it, but I think it's okay. And I did not line this back spot, so I'll do that now. Just go ahead and lock the layer for a second and plop in a thin line. I don't think I want that one to be thick. And then I unlock it again as I go and kind of correct the edge there. But I just want this line to be nice and thin. It's just there kind of defining the boundary, not really giving any kind of like 3D effect or anything. Okay. Oops, wrong color. Okay. So with this part, I actually think that this right here will be overlapping this curly part. So I kind of want to draw it like that. And I thought that I had all the gem part kind of worked out, but maybe I didn't. Okay, you know what? I'll just put this line inside the gem instead of on the crown. I think that might be a little bit easier to manage because it does look like I don't actually have the gems rendered as well as I thought I did. So I should probably do that first. Okay, here we go. I'll go ahead and clean up this gem in its entirety, and then I'll go back to doing the rest of the crown. I'll probably just... If all the gems are this messy, I'll probably go and do the gems as I get to the part of the crown that's holding them. So this way I can kind of do them together. And then I can get some nice consistent widths here, and I think that this crown is going to look great when I'm done. So I'm glad. I was a little afraid of it. It was definitely a bit intimidating to look at. Little tiaras like that I think are very cool. But I do think that they can be on the tricky side, and I am not necessarily great with rigid objects. And don't worry about the black line there, I'll fix it. I just kind of want to get the edge of this where it needs to go before I worry about the inside. You know, my typical process. Just kind of the same things as usual. And I'm just trying to make sure that I have the angle of the gem very nice there, and I think that's pretty good. I want to go back and work on the crown a little bit more just to make sure. Just to make sure that this is all correct. And if it is, then I'll go back and just finish off that gem. Oh, I have them both black right now. Whoops. The way that I tend to switch colors really fast is I hit X to switch between my foreground and background. The foreground and the background color. Okay, this means that this is a little bit high now. Fall asleep. Okay. So I will have to adjust that a little bit. I'll probably do that after I'm a little more confident in where this corner goes. Since that's kind of what I'm using to determine where that curly thing should go. So I guess it'll be a lot less curly when I'm done with it. Okay. I kind of feel like this part is not tapering off in the way that I want it to. I'm gonna kind of erase the tip a little there. And then grab a few little lines. And make it nice and straight through here. Kind of adjust the angle where I think that these two sections meet. And all that good stuff. Hello there, Protox. Welcome back. All right. So I'm just going to straighten out everything through here real quick and make sure that it is meeting up in this tip just right. And I think it is. I think that's about correct now. And then I just want to get some of these angles a little straighter, but I think it's all doing pretty well now. I think I can be pretty happy with that. So let's get this curly part in the right place. It needs to be a little bit lower, because it's supposed to kind of line up with this. And I don't think I ever put the ridge on you proper. I should do that. I'm going to lock the layer for just a moment while I get that in there. So for you, it'll be kind of like this. I think that's accurate. You know, just too curvy, but that's fine. I'll fix it in a sec. Get rid of all those curves. But yes, I do think that is right. And then I probably want to tuck it in just a little here, so I'll shave it down like this as I straighten it out. Try to get the shape, kind of doing the shape things that I want it to do. All that good stuff, and it'll connect right back in here. There. So now I'm just going to kind of perfect those shapes. Get everything going just right. Okay, and I kind of want to make it look like it's overlapping a little, so I'm going to extend this line a little bit just into right there. I think that will illustrate the shape very well. And now I just gotta finish it off. And I don't want this line to be too thick because this is just, again, kind of defining the edge of the crown. It is not defining any kind of 3D effect, so I don't want it to be too thick. Okay. Let's see. I want this to follow that shape a little better, so I'm gonna do it a little bit more like this. There we go. And now I just get this line, the thickness that I want it to be. That'll be it. Okay, so last thing to kind of define here is this guy. And I think I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm just going to... Well, I do want it to kind of mirror what's going on the other side, so it'll get 2 points. Okay, and I do see a little bit of residue on the outside there, so I'm going to zoom in real close. Make sure that nothing exists on the outside. Okay, and I'm gonna lock the layer again and just get this all filled in the way that I think it should be. There we go. And now I think I can go in and do the gem. So yeah, I think I'll just do the gems as I come to them. Why not? Oh, I don't have the layer lock, shoot. That's actually kind of important. Okay. So I do want a thin line right here. What I had before was too thick, so I just wanted to redraw it. Here too. Nothing thick, just thin. And then I want my thick lines here, since the gem is kind of inset into the crown. It's not sticking out, it's going inside of it. I want to make sure that it looks like that, and I think it does. I think it's doing exactly what I want it to do here. So just a matter of kind of straightening it out and kind of perfecting that. Okay, and now this little highlight. Gotta make it extra straight and extra smooth. There we go. I think that's enough. I won't be putting any highlights on the crown, I don't think. Maybe 1 or 2 at most on some of the like absolute shiniest areas. Like I could see myself putting one maybe right here, for example. But I think I want to experiment with that once all of this is done. I'm not quite sure how I want to handle that. The gems will get highlights, though. I think they gotta have highlights. They just won't look nearly shiny enough without them, and that would be a shame. Half the purpose of putting gems in your design is for extra shininess. Okay. So now I guess I'll get started with the net. Do I want to get started with the net? I guess. I guess it's fine. I don't think it matters that much. I can do things in whatever order, and I guess my brain has picked this one. So you know what? Sounds fine to me. The biggest thing that I determined with the net here is that I thought pretty much everything about it was way too thin. So I'm kind of going out of my way to making it a little bit thicker in a lot of places. Like a lot. So the good news is that since I can kind of already trust what I drew, I mean, I did say it was a little thin in some places, but it's easy to make things thicker. Oops. It's pretty easy to make things thicker. So I can just kind of stay zoomed in and trace over everything that I already did, and then just change where certain shadows and light are sitting. Oh yeah, and I just made it curved again. Dang nabbit. I keep doing. Make it stop. Okay. Straight! 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 Stop curving the things, please. Please, self. Please remember. It's important. They must be straight. That is what you were trying to do with this picture. Make things dramatic. Okay. It's alright, it's easy to fix. I just gotta go back over things. Alright, got some thin straight lines to draw, so give me a moment to kind of focus. There we go. Didn't get it quite right, but it was close enough. Close enough that I'll be able to fix it nice and easily. Alright. So I think that looks pretty good. I guess I'll just go down the side here. I feel like it, so that's a good enough reason to just kind of go. So I'll start straightening things out over here. I want to keep that line pretty thin too. And I think I'll handle all the shadows around the gems just on the gem layer itself. I think that's a little bit easier. It does look like I'll have to kind of touch up the gem a little bit there. But I guess I can do that now, actually. Because yeah, this doesn't have like any special patterns around the gem, so I can literally just go in and fully render this guy here. We'll just get him looking nice. And I can adjust the rest of the hairband accordingly. Sounds good to me. Just trying to get it nice and straight in there. So that this way I can lock the layer and get all this the way that I want it. Okay, right now I'm kind of focused on the line width here. I want this one to be pretty thin. So I'm just trying to get it just right. I definitely want the ones on this side to be much thicker, so that this way it looks like it's sticking into the crown instead of out of it. So same idea as the one before. There. Now I can get this little highlight. I'm just going to start over on him. I think I want it just like that. Just shave off some edges to make it a little bit smoother. There. And I think that looks pretty good. So I can go back to cleaning up everything around it over here. So now I know exactly where that gem is sitting, so I can draw the rest of the crown around it. I'm kind of trying to keep the area around it a little bit more of a consistent width all the way through. I think it'll make everything look a little bit more rigid and nice. So that's what I'm trying for. And I think from here I'll start with this side. And this can't curl like that. It must be straight. So let's straighten them out. It's okay. I think when I was getting all this started, I kind of had to have some of these curls because that's what the crown actually looks like. I do not think I would have been able to get it to look right if I hadn't just done it like that. Or, you know, I probably could have, but I think it would have been harder than just going back over it one more time and making everything straight. It does feel a little bit unnatural still. But I think it looks good. So, all is well. I just kind of have to keep fighting myself. Fight my instincts. Honestly, it does make it a little bit easier to shade for 3D because, you know, everything's straight, so I know exactly where the equivalent of, like, the vanishing point would be. I'll take it. I kind of like the style, though, so you can bet, even after I finish all the Saga members, that I'll probably do it again for something. I don't know what yet, but I'll do it again. Definitely. I think it's really cool. Okay, and here I want this to be a little straighter, so I'm going to send it down kind of like that. Looks a little weird, but I think I can make it work. I think I can make it work. I'm just going to have to do a little bit of restructuring here, but that's fine. I can do that. That's way too thick, but that's fine. I can fix it. That's, you know, the nice thing about painting. Everything's always fine. Because all you gotta do is try again if you don't like something. Okay, and there we go. I think I now have that curve kind of the way I want it, so I can start getting in this little gem holder here. I might need to move the gem just a little in order to get this shaped correctly. I'll go ahead and start with the thing holding the gem and see about getting all these things where they belong. So I think I need to change this just a little there. It was coming out just a little bit too much. There we go. Okay. So I think before I can perfect this, I want to get the gem in, but I want to, you know, have some idea of where this gem actually needs to go, since I did move things around just a little here. So I'm gonna try to get some of that going a little bit better than I currently feel like I am, and then I'll worry about the gem. But I think I can worry about the gem now. So this one's gonna move around a little bit. That's fine. It's okay. Things changed a little bit, so it makes sense that it would move around just a little bit here. I try to avoid changing things too much when I'm zoomed in this close, but I had to straighten out the hairband there, so I think that this should be fine. We'll see how I feel about it once I zoom out again. Maybe I should check, actually. Alright. We'll put your hair back on for just a second here. Let's see, if I was doing it like her hair, I should probably have it straight all the way through, but I think this looks okay. Let me see, do I like that contradiction? Because the other option would be to, like, shape her hair a little bit more like this. So that this way it follows that a little bit better. Yeah, I think I like that better. So I think I'll do it like that. And if I were to take away the crown, does her hair look weird? Not at all. Okay. So yeah, I'll just do it like that. I think what I have is fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and hide everything again. And I'll go back to just gently rendering all this out. I was on the gem. Okay. And I get the feeling that I'll be going back and forth between the gem and the crown a little bit here, as I try to get them working together. Because they must work together. They can't be working super separately here. They can't be. It just won't work if they try to do everything separately. Let's see, this part should actually be a little bit higher than what I currently have. So I'll send it out right about there, and then I'll get the lines around it. Just like this. like this. I feel like this line is still a little bit thick, and also there's like a little bulge there that I don't like. So let's try to shave some of that off. And then I can send this straight down. Nope, that's a little bit... It's not quite the right spot. I got the angle a little bit off. I need it to join together like right about here, it looks like. So I'll just go ahead and draw that extra line there to help me out. Seems fine. And then I can just get rid of it like this, no problem. And eventually this will come down into this. So I'll kind of straighten it out a little. There we go. And let's see, I kind of want to go back and actually get this part of the band working for me a little bit better. Like, I see some spots that are not fully realized here, for example. And I feel like I should get everything upstream looking pretty good here. I will be so happy when I finish this, though. I really do think that this is probably going to be the hardest part of the entire picture. So I feel like once I have this crown done, that the biggest hurdle is dealt with. So that'll be a good feeling. And I feel like it's coming along pretty nicely. We'll see if it leaves me enough time to really finish off like her head and hair and whatnot. I'd like to do more with that. I would. This way I can get some of those things kind of finished off a little bit. But I just really want to make sure that these angles are right. Some of them I feel like are a little bit off. Some of them I still feel like are a little bit round and blobby. So I'm really trying to straighten things out. Like I said, many a time, I'm really having to fight my instincts here. Trying to make a hairband like this squarish instead of round. A little bit harder than it sounds like it should be. But I just really, want to draw the curve. But no, I can't. It has to be like this. And it feels weird. And this is... Okay, I was worried that wasn't black for a second, but no, that's black. Okay. For some reason, it looked kind of brown to me. Alright, well, thanks for stopping by. Good luck on your exam. You too, thank you. Okay, and I still don't feel like right here quite connects properly. Kind of want to extend it down just a little bit more. There we go. There we go. This line still feels a little thick. But that's alright, I'll thin it out momentarily. First, I want to make sure that line is going where I want it to go. There we go, that looks a little better. I do think it's a little thick up here too, so I guess I'll fix it here. There we go. And then I haven't done anything further upstream, so... Here. Back here. Back to this little gem holder. I'm trying to make sure that this looks like it's wrapping around the gem properly. And I want to make sure that it has an appropriate thickness here that matches with everything further up. Okay. And yeah, I'll go ahead and finish off the gem now. I'm feeling pretty good about the shape around it. Or, no, right there is not quite right yet. I was going to say overall. Hello there, Slayer. Welcome. So this, I don't feel like the corner is quite in the right place. I've used a couple, but I just like Krita. I painted in Photoshop before switching to Krita, and that's the only one that I really have any amount of experience with. Then I tried Krita, it did everything I wanted, and I never saw any point in trying others, so... There you go. I just have a personal policy of trying to use open source software when I can. Honestly, it's the software you use really doesn't matter. You really only need a few basic functions, and any art program is going to have those. So, you know, just... hard round brush, soft round brush, and maybe a texture brush is all you really need for brushes. And any software program is going to have those by default. Brushes, very much an advanced user topic, not a beginner topic. Because they're there to help you save time, so don't worry about it. Just find a soft one, a hard one, and a texture one that you like, and you can do basically anything. And then after that... layers. And any software is gonna have that. So there you go. Especially as a beginner. I'd say for beginners, the software you use matters even less than it would for anyone else, and I already don't think it matters very much. And Krita is great. Does a lot of great things. Yeah, no problem. It's okay, I think it can be easy to get fixated on things that more experienced people do. But, when you're a beginner, it just doesn't help much. Like, I see a lot of obsession with the types of brushes people use. For the record, this entire thing, hard round brush only. I have never felt the need to use any other brush. It just, all brushes really do is... once you know kind of what you're doing, they might help you save time later. But when you don't already know what you need a brush for, like, you're not going to be able to really pick one that'll suit you. So I wouldn't worry about it. Just, you know, draw cool things, see what works. And if you feel like experimenting with brushes one day, you know, go for it. If it's fun. But it probably won't make that big a difference. So... I don't know. Personally, I think it's less of a high bar than people give it credit for. Because you can do all kinds of cool things while you're still learning to draw. Even if you're not entirely happy with the result just yet. Alright, so I think I got this going pretty well here. I think I've straightened that out pretty much how I want it to, and I don't think the line here needs to be quite as thick. Not quite as thick as the rest, just because it's kind of disappearing behind her head. I might even just paint this entire thing black. Where's her hair? Yeah, you know what? I think I will, actually. I think I'm gonna grab right here. Oh, I should lock the layer so I don't color outside the lines. There we go. And we're just gonna paint that whole thing black. And I think that's it for down here. Okay, let's go ahead and finish off this gem then, since I am happy with how things are sitting in there now. And I'll just gently carve out where it's supposed to be sitting. Kind of adjust the angle of things a little. This part I feel like it's a little off center. So I'll fix that. Okay. Now I can lock the layer again, and I want to thin this line over here. All of the gems on her crown are kind of inset into it. So they're not sticking out, they're going inside. So I'm just making this line thinner to make it look like it's sticking inside. Or this line is thicker. Is that what I said? I can't remember. Look, the dyslexia makes me say the exact opposite of what I mean sometimes. It happens more often than I'd like to admit. Okay. And I don't like where that highlight is, so I'm gonna move it. It's gonna come up here now. And then I'll paint over it in pink a little to kind of straighten out the edges, because everything in this must be straight. No curves allowed. Okay. So now I can come back up here, and I need to get her hair out of the way again. Okay, so how do I want to do this? I think I'll go ahead and do these gems now, and unlike these ones, I think I'm actually going to handle the lines and shading around them on the outside. Okay. But I do know that I need to straighten things out on the crown layer because I have my gem layer clipped to it. So let's get this nice and straight and just the way I want it. I think that's good. And now I'll just, go ahead and get all this the way that I want. And actually, I'm going to get rid of all of the lines and stuff around this for now. I'll put them back once I'm done with this gem here. I actually wouldn't be surprised if I was following my light source a little more closely. I think that these colors should actually be reversed, but this looks way better, so I kind of don't care. I'm just going to do it like this. Rule of cool trumps all in this style. It just does. Okay. Depends on what you're drawing, but for this, yes, absolutely. There's no question. No question at all. Okay, I want a little light down here. Little sliver of something going on there. And then I do want to make sure that I have the line going around. Well, I think it's a good way to be. Gotta be stylish. It's important. Little thin line there. I want a little bit more light coming through there. This gem is probably going to be one of the harder ones because it's so stinking small and I can't do everything, but there we go. I think that's what I want. Okay, so I'm going to go back and do the crown underneath it. Get that the way I want now. I think I can just go all the way across here. Oh, I'm still on the gem layer. I thought I clicked off. I did not. Okay. Alright, we'll go straight across here. Straight across through here and down. And then I need to kind of mirror it on the other side here. But it's fine because this side needs to have a thicker line anyway to show the perspective I want. And I do think that the arm of this is getting a little thin. So I think I'm actually going to push this line a little further back. And then I'll just make it thinner by painting with the gold on top. And I see I have a little bit of gem bleeding out there. Can't have that. Gems must stay in their spot. And I'll just keep doing that until I'm happy with the thickness of the crown here. That was the one thing that I wasn't quite sure about when I decided to come in and start rendering this today. I wasn't sure if I had the thickness right in a bunch of spots. But it's all good. That's pretty easy to fix on the fly, so I didn't really feel the need to worry that much about it. And I'll just send this straight across. I can clean that up after. In theory, you know. We'll see how it actually works out, but in theory, it should be fine. This can't go there. This has to come down just a little here. Don't. Anatomy is... I'd call straight-on anatomy an advanced topic. All you really need to know is just basic proportions at first for whatever it is you want to draw. If you want to draw faces, know that the eyes are about halfway down, then you can divide the lower part into thirds, and that's where you put the nose and the mouth. That's about all you gotta know for the face. So yeah, my advice is don't. Basically, the way I think that learning should be approached is you draw a thing, and then you look at it, and you say, you know, I don't like X, Y, and Z about this thing I just drew. How do I do that? And then you go look up how you fix X, Y, Z and the thing that you drew. And then you can either, you know, draw, you know, fix it in the picture that you drew, or, you know, keep it in mind as you draw the next picture. And at some point, if you just don't know what to draw, or if you don't know what to draw and you want to draw, or you just really feel like you can sit down and study, that's when you can do it. But in general, I've did very few studies. Literally, I just drew the things that I wanted to draw, and I did it repeatedly, and that probably slowed me down in some aspects. But pretty much any time that I tried to sit down and study, I don't know. It didn't work, so I stopped doing it. And now I just think of a picture that lets me try the things I want to try. Like here, I wanted to try to draw a very dramatic picture here that was kind of edgy and fun, and so I was like, you know, this character would be perfect for that. Let's go ahead and do that. And so I just try to experiment with one or two things in every picture that I draw, and that's how I get the improvement. And then there are occasional times where I do studies. Because I feel like it. But if you have to force yourself to do it, you're just gonna have a bad time. And I can guarantee that there will come a day when there's something you want to try. And you just kind of sit down and look at things and try to figure it out. And if that day never comes, it means you're satisfied with your art and it wasn't necessary in the first place. But this is, in my opinion, just kind of a fundamental misconception with how any creative thing works. Because, in my opinion, the reason that people learn how to draw in... Well, okay, there's two big ones, I think. The first is that there's something that they want to draw. And so they learn how to draw so this way they can draw the thing they want to draw. And, you know, I just say, you know, just draw the thing. And if you're not satisfied, iterate on it and keep drawing it until you're satisfied with it. And the other people are basically people that just want to learn a skill. Any skill. And they just want to get good and be good. And those are the people that can do studies for hours on end. But I'd say for most people, it's because there's something that they want to draw. And, you know, you can learn by drawing the things that you just want to draw. Okay, then draw manga and graphic novels. Go. Go do the thing. Yeah, go draw it. You're not going to be able to learn anatomy until you know what's wrong with your pictures. Then you can look at your pictures and draw the thing. I mean, here, let me zoom out. Let me turn on my layers and zoom out here. This is the art of somebody that never studied anatomy. I think I'm doing okay. I studied basic proportions. So, you know, the eyes are about halfway down the face. Yes, yeah, the nose and the mouth are about a third of the way through the rest. So you got nose, eyes, chin, making up the rest of the third. And then if you measure in terms of heads, the chest is about one head down. After the head, and then you got the waist, and then you got kind of where your legs connect, and then you got some awkward stuff for length of the legs. The legs are about half the length of the body in most cases. And then... But, I mean, even then, I'm not sure if you're familiar with VTubers, but I just finished doing a drawing of Crony, who is probably a good 75% leg, as opposed to a little bit less than 50. So... People do weird stuff with anatomy all the time. It's fine. Go draw the thing. And then look at it and be like, you know, this part's not working for me. And then figure out how to fix that part. And then your studying will become a lot easier because you will actually know what's wrong. Unironically, I do not think that people will be able to learn how to draw without drawing stuff. Exactly. Yeah, that's why I say. I mean, if there's something you want to go draw, go ahead and go draw it. I mean, I'm actually working on potentially drawing some comics myself. And I am really, really slow. And that is not at all conductive to making comics. So I'm trying to figure out how to fix that. And I have made considerable progress over the past, I don't know, probably 2 months. I'm way faster than I used to be. But first I had to identify, I want to do this. But I can't for this reason. I mean, it just... I don't know. Somebody came in here once and was asking me how I feel about things like 100 cube challenges and drawing 100 cubes. And I'm just like, why? Why would you draw 100 cubes? It's not going to teach you anything. It'll teach you how to draw a cube. Is a cube what you want to draw? Hello there, Meep. Welcome. Oh yeah, it's like, is a cube what you want to draw? I don't think so. You're probably using it as a substitute for drawing something else and hoping that drawing 100 cubes will help you learn the thing. But I really don't think you will, unless you know why you need to learn how to draw a cube. Or, people that grind gesture studies. Do you know what gesture does? Do you know why it's important? I do, because I drew many a stiff pose that looked terrible for a really long time. And studying gesture will make your poses less stiff. But unless you know why your poses are stiff and that you want to fix it, you're not going to pick up what you need from gesture studies. So go draw the thing. Go draw all the stiff poses. Go draw all the bad anatomy. It's great. It'll help you figure out what you need to fix. And then you can go look up how to fix the thing that you don't like. And it'll make sense because you already know what's wrong. That is my opinion, at least. And trust me, once I got into that mindset, instead of just trying to grind photo studies, I tried. I tried for a while. And I don't know, it just didn't work. I didn't really get that much out of it. But now when I do photo studies, I do, because I know what I'm looking for. And yeah, no problem. Don't worry. Your art as it is right now is good enough. It'll get you to where you want to go. Even if it's not there yet. It is the first step, because then you can look at it and just find what is stopping you from achieving your current goal. But I don't think you can do that unless you draw the things that you want to draw. And so that should always be priority number one, in my opinion. Drawing cool things. I didn't say good. I said cool. So even if you don't feel like you're good, don't worry. You can still draw cool things. I've thought about doing a tutorial series where I basically talk about that, or I'm just like, how to study. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, it's probably one of those things that won't happen until next year if I decide to do it. But I don't know, I've thought about learning how to draw for a while now. And just like what to tell people, and I think it can be easy as a creator to get just totally sucked up at how things are not where you want them to be yet. And it can be very sad. I've been feeling it hard because I've been trying to learn how to write. This way I can, you know, write cool stories and stuff, and oh god. I'm remembering what it's like to be a beginner again, and I hate it. Yes. There's a lot to know. There's so much. So much. So don't feel bad about being overwhelmed. There's a lot. And that's why I say it's just a matter of draw the thing and decide what you don't like about it. And, you know, maybe go seek out some other artists that you like and try to figure out why you like them. Like, what do they do that's cool? Again, not good. Cool. I can think of it less with art, but I know that there are some video games that are, like, objectively bad, but I still like them. So... yeah, mechs are definitely pretty hard. How does this crown look again? What are you, then? Oh no, did I accidentally draw something extra? No, I have it about right. Did I just curve a bunch of these lines again? I did. Dang nabbit. Keep doing it. Okay, straight. Straight. You can see here, I'm fighting my nature and my muscle memory because I'm trying to do something interesting stylistically. And I'm not used to it. So I keep lumping it up. But no, no curves allowed. All must be straight. Okay, and how are you supposed to go? I have her crown off screen here so I don't have to keep scrolling all the way to the left repeatedly. Like this. Like that. But yeah, this month I was talking about being a beginner with writing, and this month I decided to do, you know, the National Novel of Writing Month Challenge, and that's been a thing. That's why I say nothing big is happening until next year, because I am just buried and my brain is just eternally fried. But it's fine, it's a good fried. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the point. Is recently I had a little bit of a breakthrough there, and it was definitely not something that would have happened if I hadn't just gone down and tried to write the thing that I wanted to write. You can talk about theory all you want, but it's not gonna... nothing's gonna move unless you try to make the thing and then see where it goes wrong. So that's what I've been doing this month, and I had a breakthrough recently, and I am just so happy, man. So, here's hoping I'll actually be able to write that next year. Because I doubt I'll be able to finish it in December. But next year, many a thing will happen, and I'm excited. I don't know, I don't think it's... I think it's way easier than trying to study without knowing what you actually want to do. Like, unironically, like, I don't know, I guess a lot of people get used to it because, you know, they had to go to school. But, I don't know, I don't think you can truly learn something and retain the information unless it matters to you. And I think that's where a lot of people have trouble with school. So... let's see, this needs to be straight, and I am not making this straight enough. So it'll straight down there, and then come into this. So I just have it a little bit too thick on the top, and that's fine. I'll fix it. There we go. There we go. Yeah. I mean, unironically. When you have a reason. I mean, the reason that I learned how to code was because I wanted to make forum skins for RP. The reason I wanted to learn how to draw was so I could draw my OCs. So, yes. Don't worry, relatable. That's why I did it. I am not a skill grinder. They exist. I'm always very surprised at the number of people that can just do master studies or I don't know, pick up paint colors from Home Depot and learn how to mix paint until they can match every single one of them. And that kind of thing. But there are people out there that do that, and I am just always so surprised. Whereas I'm here, and I'm just like, I don't know. I want to draw cool anime girls. Hold on, I accidentally unplugged my headphones. Let me fix that. Give me just a sec. There we go. I didn't want to be sitting here in silence. I like having the music too. It's okay. Just figure out what's sitting there between you and your goal and go from there. I think that's a good way to be. I did. I drew and rigged it myself. First thing I rigged too. It was quite the adventure. Yeah, it was a good time. I highly recommend it. I did not use Live 2D for this, so if you ever want to try rigging for yourself, I used Inochi 2D, an open source alternative to Live 2D. So it's just out there on the internet, and the free version is exactly the same as the paid version, so you can just try it out and see if it's something you're interested in. No. Part of me kind of wants to. Hold on, I got a cough. I swallowed wrong. But yeah, I don't use Linux for anything important. I do have a Linux machine that I don't use very often. I use it for some, like, server experiments. But, not for anything real important. And I don't think it's gonna replace Windows for me anytime soon. Oh yeah, I'm fine. I just swallowed wrong. Happens all the time. God, this weird just mesh of metal is so weird to draw. But I think I got it. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna color in that whole spot there. I think it looks better than leaving a tiny hole. Alright, there we go. But I think I'm gradually feeling this out here. I mean, I don't blame you. It's just, it's not entirely friendly for all the things I want to use computers for yet. It might have gotten better since I last looked, but I know that even when it comes to VTubing stuff, it's not fully there yet. It's not like I haven't thought about it, because Windows keeps being Windows, but alas. Yeah. It's like Inochi 2D and all of their adjacent stuff is helping. People actually can do VTubing stuff from Linux now, but it's not up to parity, in my opinion. So I've stayed on Windows for now, and I'm not sure how much better Linux has gotten for games over the years, but a lot of it still seems more Windows specific. So, alright, there we go. I got that weird mesh. I do think its thickness is good. Is it better? I haven't looked into it in a long time. Oh, nice. Okay. Because a lot of that just comes down to what do developers make? And what do they need and that all that. And I wasn't sure if developers were developing there. Oh, cool. Okay. Well, glad to see they're making progress. I imagine it depends on distribution, but... Oh, okay, cool. Like I said, I'm a bit out of the loop because I haven't tried to use it for anything outside of, like, super specialized stuff in a long time. And I haven't touched the super specialized stuff in a long time. Well, I'm glad it worked out. Alright, time to get this nice and straight here. Nice and straight. I think I might have put a little bit too much on the side there, but I don't know, it's matching everything else here, so it should be fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. Now just get this nice and straight. Yeah, that would definitely be a problem. I can't imagine drawing without pressure sensitivity. Sounds terrible. Well, I mean, Krita was developed for Linux, so I'm not surprised. Alright, I think I want the lines here to be a little thicker to kind of imitate a shadow cast by this pointy bit here. But the rest... I think that this will be fine. This still needs a line around it. I never drew it. I should do that. Let's see, how do I want you to be shaped? Probably something like that, actually. Have them meet somewhere down here. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. And then I can just make the thickness of the line however I think it should be. Yeah, I'm gonna have to erase a little bit through here. There we go, that's doing a little bit better. It still feels like it has a bit of curvature to it, but... probably fine. I think it's just due to the extra shadow bit that I put there. But I think it'll be fine. Just fine. And then I'm just straightening things out all the way through here. Well, in this case, it's less of a feature or anything, and more that, like, the lines themselves are pretty straight. But I don't know. Sometimes I think it's just a trick of my eyes, where I feel like it's a little bit concave there. Just a tiny bit, and I don't think it's noticeable enough that it'd be worth fixing. So that's why I say I think it's fine. I think it looks fine. And if it looks fine, then, you know, spending an hour trying to get it, like, perfect, maybe not worth it. There are some places where I will absolutely spend an hour to get it perfect. Mostly in the face, but for this, no, this is fine. This looks fine. Oh yeah, I didn't do this gem. I should do that. Let's see. Let's get this a little bit smoother here. It's a bit lumpy and blurry, and I just can't have that. That is terrible. So I'll just straighten it all out. Let's see, I accidentally kind of colored over that part, but that's fine, I can fix it. Because I have the gems kind of clipped to the crown layer, so I need to make sure that the crown layer is also the right shape here, so that this way they will clip properly. Very important. Very important. But now I think I got it all, so I can just go in and kind of draw where I think I need to. In theory. Let's see what happens. Let's see, no, this needs to come out a little bit more. I'm probably way too zoomed in, but I can't be bothered to fix it, so it's fine. Okay, and then, you know, I'm just gonna switch back and forth a little until I'm satisfied with the shape of the gem here. And I find it easier to see the pink, so I will use the pink and then fix the colors after. It's fine. That is the joy of being able to lock transparency and just color normally. So yay! And I'll get these nice and straight as is necessary. There we go. Let's see, how should this actually go? It's like that. And then like that. Okay, there we go. That should be about how I do things. Okay. Now I can get this nice and smooth and put my little bit of color through here. And then I'll get the black line going around it. Get that little line going around and there. Okay, now the gem is good. Maybe make it just a little bit pointier right there. But yes. Sorry I forgot about you, little guy, but it's alright. Everything's fine now. Okay. So now I got this part, so I guess to the middle one here. God, this whole thing is just... What is even going on? But I think I drew it accurately, so I think all is well. Okay. So this part should connect up through here. And I will need to make this straight. There we go. Gotta go straight only. No curves. No curves anywhere. Must eliminate them all. And then the shape card from this makes a little divot through there. Kind of like this. Normally I'd agree, but I'm doing something. I am trying to make things extra dramatic, and oh man, has eliminating all the curves actually helped with that. There's a few places that are curved. Like, I didn't make her eyes square. But trust me, in like every other picture that you'll see, you'll hear me obsessing over cute little curls. Just not here. No cute little curls allowed. Only straights. Only straights. Okay, let's see. Was there any other stuff in there? No. So this is good. And I'll just start getting the lines here on the other side. In theory. Always in theory. I don't have anything... Okay, good. And here I want the light there to be like a little shadow, so I'm gonna do that. There we go, that looks like it's sticking in properly. Still really hoping I finish the crown today. I was a little distracted. It's okay, the conversation is very much worth it. And the crown, still, in my opinion, the hardest part. Nah, don't be sorry. Never be sorry. It's why I stream it. If I wanted to go fast, I wouldn't stream. Okay. That line is a little too thin, but that's fine. I'll fix it. I just want to get rid of all the residue first. Okay, straight line through. Perfect. Okay, I think I'll take care of the gem now. Since this will kind of determine the shape of a bunch of things. Just try to get it nice and embedded in there, because this one is also inset. And I'll let the gem be responsible for its own lines. Okay. think that thickness is pretty good. Let's get it right on this side too. Just slowly carve away at it until I'm happy. Okay, and I think that'll be a good shape. I just need to kinda change the shape of the shadow here so it follows it a little bit more accurately. There, just like that. Nice and easy. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's straighten this part out just a little. It got a little bit curved through there, and I definitely don't want that. Even in her actual design, this is not curved. Okay, and now back to the gem. I think I have the shape of the gem good, so I'm gonna lock the layer so I can't color outside the lines. And start getting the shadows in there. This one is inset, unlike the last two I just did. So I'm gonna give it some nice juicy shadows to show that. Go ahead and just color this entire area in for now. I will put the pink parts back in just a little bit. I think the white is fine as is. Just had that little corner that was missing. Okay, let's get that little pig part back in there. And then I'll go over it with black one more time just to get the width of the line right. There we go. So there we go. I think that's that one, actually. Yeah, the outside part looks good too. Almost there! Ah. Almost there! Alright, looks like I got a little bit more net to deal with. This one is... Let's see, I think you actually need to come down a little bit more like this. But otherwise, I think you're pretty okay. This is why I didn't worry about the line on this side, because I knew at some point I'd be coming in through here and trying to get this. And this is actually like connecting on this part here. It's like over there, but I'm pretending like it's covered up there and it's probably connecting like right around there. I think that's fine. I think it's probably about right. So I'll go ahead and get these other little parts right. So that this way I can forget that this net thing actually exists and I can move on. Life will be great. This thing is kind of hard to draw. Okay, there we go. And let's see. I want to make this a little thicker here. And you a little straighter. Disappear. Back behind everything. It'll be fine. Where you belong. Okay, and... let's see here. I think before I kind of fill out the rest of the lines, I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of this hairband here. Where's her hair? Okay, so I think the way I'm gonna do this is I'm actually just gonna fill everything from the gem here out over here in black. So this will go kind of like this, and I think that'll give me the effect I want. Okay. Get the hair out of there so it doesn't get in the way, and just finish up the top part here. And then I guess I'll go do the spiky thing before I finish off the rest of the net there. Okay. And I will straighten things out here just cuz. Alright. Yeah, so I think once I get this, I should be able to finish off this pretty easily. I don't want to shave this back just a touch, though. I'm gonna have to cut off part of the gem. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I just want to make sure we're not, like, seeing both sides of, like, this and here at the same time. Because that's physically impossible. So... to be avoided. But it suits me, I suppose. Okay, so let's get this thing. The last of the pointy metal parts. And then after that, we only have pointy gem parts. So I'll thicken out the side here so that this way it looks a little bit more three-dimensional. Little bit more three-dimensional here. And I want a thicker shadow right there, and now I can get this line, send it down. I'm gonna lock the layer for that. I went out of the lines, and that's just no good here. There we go. Much better. I think this is a little too thick, so let's push that this way. There we go. And then that changed the shape of some stuff there, so I gotta change that, but that's fine. Whatever suits the picture best. That is what should go down. Okay, and there we go. Okay, and... I want to get this inner part, kind of get the same 3D effect on this side. I'm trying to make the line about the same width, so that it looks like it's about the same thickness. Okay. And then I just need to get this straighter because it got a little curved. Told ya, I'm going against all my instincts by not making things more curved. But everything must be straight. Everything. Okay, how am I gonna do this? That, yeah, I think that's good. Kinda clip off that edge there. I'm gonna zoom in just a little. I probably shouldn't, but here we are. Just because I want to get that line a little bit better, and there's like some residue everywhere and it's bothering me, and I'm having a hard time seeing it. I think my brain's just getting tired. It's okay, I've been drawn a crown. And this thing is hard. Okay. There we go, and... yeah, I guess I'll get these 2 gems, and then I'll worry about these guys kind of hanging out on the sides there, since it's just all behind the hair. Alright, let's... get this gem shaped correctly. Since I had to erase part of it. Top part seems fine, I'm just gonna make it a little smoother. Why am I zoomed into 500%? I don't know. I should stop that. I just saw a few spots here that are still a little bit rougher than I would like them to be. So I'm gonna fix that now. And hopefully when I come back to this on Wednesday, I won't feel the need to make a million corrections. That'd be wonderful. I think it looks pretty good though. I think I'm actually pretty happy with it. Okay, and I do kind of need to fix the shape of this gem a little. It's a little bit lopsided there. So that will be a job for the pink, though. Because it's easier to see. I just kind of wanted to do something like this. So that will alter the shape down here. I guess I'll just use black for it, it's fine. The color doesn't really matter since it's going to get covered up anyway. And I'll just shave things down until I am happy with it. There we go. I think that's okay. Yeah, that looks pretty in perspective to me. So here we go. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Herpaderp. Gotta color in that part properly still. But after that, I can lock the layer and just get the shade on there that I want. Lock and transparency, very useful. Extremely. I also hate where that highlight is, so I'm just gonna kill it and draw it again. Always murder the things you don't like. It'll make everything better. Okay. Then through here, I'm fix all that up. I think this needs to be just a tad longer here in order to meet up at the corner proper. There we go. Give it a little bit more pink through there, so this way it meets up at that corner proper. And then I can plop in the pink part right there. Okay, now this guy just needs its lines. And he will be all done. Okay. One more gem. Just one more. This guy got a little bit cut off too. Alas, poor little gem. But it's okay, I'll fix it. I think this one's actually mostly looking fine, so I'm just gonna leave them locked. I'll clean up through here. Looks like there's a little black spot here that should not be black. Okay. We got just a little guy here. Just a little guy. But it's okay. He's just as important as everyone else. So I will give him the care and attention that he needs to. All right. Line. Done. So, just a couple little more metal parts just right over there. And then And then all will be done. And my brain can rest. At least until Wednesday. When I go and work on this one again. Although I think I'll probably have a harder time tomorrow because the part of the picture that I'm at and the one that I'm working on Mondays is pretty hard too. Wait, you're curved. No, I caught myself this time. We eliminate all curves here. At least in this picture. The one on Monday, he can have curves. This one cannot. Curves are not allowed here. I do stream every day. I might end up cutting back to 6 days a week instead of 7 like next year, but haven't decided yet. But right now, it's every day at this time. I like drawing stuff, so I just come on and draw a thing, and it's a good time. The only reason I'm even considering not drawing every day is just so I have a little bit more time to do some things that would grow the channel. If it was up to me, I'd still stream every day. I just don't have enough time to do things like make good thumbnails and boring administrative stuff. Terrible, I tell ya. All the boring administrative stuff. Okay. Let's see. Gem. Be straight. Oh, I kind of actually have these sticking out. They're inset. So I shouldn't do that. I should actually have it like this. Where they're kind of sticking in. You know, I'm glad I caught that. There we go. That makes way more sense. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Gem. But yes. If you happen to stop by here at this time, I will be here. And I would be happy to talk about whatever random stuff. You can distract me as much as you want. It's all good. Okay, perfect. One more right here. And once again, yeah, I kinda had them sticking out. But no, they are inside. So I gotta draw them inside. I'll let this side stick out just a little bit more here. Get it nice and straight there, like everything else, because it must be straight. It's a requirement. At least for this picture. Alright, just kind of straighten some things over there, and ta-da. Alright. And now I can fix up the gem here, make him a little straighter. Oh, I see. I have the lines on the crown layer here. I will fix that, and now I can go back to getting that gem nice. Let's see. Okay, we're just talking about straight lines here. They have their purpose. There we go. Okay, and I think that should be good. I'm gonna turn on the layers, and about the only other decision I have to make is whether or not I want to put some bright highlights on this. And I am scared after doing all that, so I'm gonna do it on another layer so that this way I don't have to be quite as scared. So let's see. If I were to put some bright highlights on this, where would I put them? There should probably be one like here. I'm just gonna put them in roughly for now. I'll worry about kind of smoothing things out a little bit later. This one is a big ridge down the middle here, so I think it should go there. Probably a little one right there and through here. Yes, but that makes things look nice. So it's worth doing. But yeah, I just don't want to mess up anything that I already did. So there we go. Let's see, what are these things shaped like? So if I were to do it like that, it would be kind of like this. Let's see here, like that. I'm just gonna leave it scribbly. I don't think I want a bunch on the net. I think that would be terrible. So let's not. See how it looks over here. And I will probably do this with a bunch of selections if I decide to do it. But I want to be able to see what on-off looks like. Because I think those selections will make this a bit easier to manage. Okay, so like that. Oh wait, I missed a couple of lines on the crown. Let me fix that first. That's right, I was gonna do those after I finished some other stuff, and then I didn't. Okay, but those are the only ones, and let's see here. Probably want a few little metallic light spots through here. Something like that, and I think all this is fine, but I will put one here in theory, because again, this is a big ridge. Kind of come up here into this. Same with the other side. No, not that, not there, here. And I think that's the big one. Does it look better with them? Probably. Yeah, I'd say that's significantly better. Okay, so I don't want to torture myself here, so I'm gonna select some areas so that this way hopefully I just stay within the golden parts and I don't bleed into the black parts, and hopefully that'll make my life a little bit easier here. I'm just gonna zoom in real close. Actually, you should probably be lit on the other side, huh? Yeah, actually. Whoops. Okay. Well, you know, it's okay. That's why... That's why I think about these things. This is why having a vague idea of where your light source is important. And then I'll just clear out anything that doesn't belong there, and hopefully it'll save me a little bit of grief. I probably should not be zoomed in to 500% here. 400 is plenty. Can I even do that? No, I really can't. Okay. I'll just paint a little tiny guy right there. Should be fine. That guy, I think, is not going to be highlighted. And let's see how far through these highlights I can get before it is time for me to stop, because it's getting there. Unfortunately, as always, I have things to do. Actually, I think this should be much thinner. Should taper out a little bit more over here. And I think for today, I will leave these highlights on a separate layer, but when I'm done, I might merge them. Just because I don't like having a ton of layers to deal with. When I got started, I painted with only one layer. Pretty much always. But I had to admit that there were certain advantages to actually using layers, so I eventually kind of adopted it. But part of me... Wait, am I making these curved? It keeps happening. No! No curves! Not allowed! Stop it! Be straight. There. Gotta be careful through there so this way I don't erase this one. Okay. No. Not for this one. For the one I draw on Monday, I can do all the curves I want. But for this, I'm going for something very specific, and it requires many a straight line. The nature must be fought for the sake of style. It's very important. Very, very important, because let me tell you, when I started doing the hair, and at first I had a bunch of just curved lines there, and I was like, wait, you know, I intended to do a lot of stuff with straight lines here, and then I made them straight, and, like, the style points went up by, like, at least 20%. Probably closer to, like, 60. It was a pretty noticeable difference. So, very, very worth. Very, very worth. I have no regrets forcing myself to fight through it. None whatsoever. It's fantastic. How do highlights work again? I think this is right. And then we'll probably have a little one kind of coming up through here, but just a little one. And then I do want to make sure that I'm not covering up my nice black lines there. Unfortunately, I did draw them on the same layer to make my life easier, so it's a little bit harder right now. That's okay. It actually is pretty okay. Because I personally find getting started way harder than finishing something. So whatever lets me get started is best for me. You're a terrible shape. Be better, please. Thank you. That is a much better shape. Okay. Now then. Yeah, I think this is pretty flat, is it? Yeah, it's quite flat. So this is perfect. Basically, I was debating if I should shade the whole thing or only like half of it, but no. Or yes, I guess I should say. It is indeed flat, so I should shade the whole thing. I look forward to, putting the highlights on the hair. I just want to finish all the hair before I do that. And right now I only have her front hair done. So I kind of need to get the back part and her giant hair buns before I can go and really finish it off. I had a little one here. I think that'll look good. Remove curves. I remembered this time. I remembered. Yes. Yes, she is from the new gem. I do plan to draw all 5 of them. And if Anya debuts, by the time I finish, I'll draw her too. So we'll see how that works out. Alright. One more through here, and then probably just a couple of little guys, and that should do it. That should do it. Then I will have a shiny, finished crown, and I think the hardest part of the entire piece will be finished. And that's always very exciting. And then I get to, finish off her head and the rest of her hair, and I can do all sorts of cool things and figure out exactly where I'm going with this style. I just wanted to try it because I thought I could make some really cool things, and I just had this mental image that I had to draw. This one and BB were the ones that came to me first, so those will be the ones that I draw first. I'm kind of looking forward to BB. I think my idea is a pretty good one. Yeah, I like her design quite a lot, and I do like how this picture's coming out. Would I say I have a regular style? Look, choices are hard, and I draw in a way that kind of expresses whatever idea that I want to draw. So I change styles like all the time. I just kind of draw it in a way that suits me. Let's see. No, you don't need one. Okay, there we go. I think that is a finished crown. Do I like this? No. I'm gonna put a little more highlight here. I got rid of it for reasons, but I think I was wrong. Okay. Yeah, I think that works. But yes, this is very much style experiments. I do draw stuff like this fairly regularly, at least adjacent to it, I guess I should say. But I'm trying to kind of evolve that style into something way cooler. So I wanted to try some stuff that just made it kind of ooze cool with maybe a slight bit of, the phase madness. So bring the Planckera into it. So yeah, I'm trying things. and I think it's working, so I'm happy. I'm honestly quite happy with it. I am looking forward to finishing this one and doing the other 4. Or, you know, 5 if we're lucky. I put on a layer that I shouldn't have. Where are you? There it is. Okay. That was some leftovers when I was drawing the hands. But I might need it later, so I'll still keep it. Alright. So now that I have, like, the hardest part of this done, that freaking crown, man. I spent so long trying to get that right, and just figuring out the perspective on it was way harder than I feel like it should be. But I do still have trouble drawing stuff like that. And now it's done, and I am free. And I'd say the rest of this is more curvy and vague, but let's be real, I'm going to turn it on to squares, so... I might not turn her chest into squares, those might get to stay around, but everything else is going to be, like, squared off. Alright. Well, there we go. Next time, I shall hopefully finish off her head and the rest, and, you know, her giant buns there, and then I can kind of do the rest of my science with the hair and figure out exactly what I want to be doing with that. I have some thoughts. I figure all of them won't work and some of them are contradictory, so it's just going to be me trying a lot of things. There's going to be so much just... Do I like this? Yes, no. Is this better or is this better? And I will see what works. And we'll see if once I kind of get used to this, I can draw the next one a little faster. That's always my goal. Like I said, I am trying to learn how to draw faster. Because I'm slow and I want to be faster. But I think this is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow. Because yes, I do stream every day. For anyone that's new, I come every day and I will draw things, and 2 days a week I play a game and talk about game mechanics, and it's great. But I will see you tomorrow.